Thanks, everybody. Hey, Marty, can you let me know when there's like 4 minutes left?
There's a clock right now.
Oh, wow, we've really made improvements since my last time. Great. All right, so I'm Jim Hutelmyer. I'm the group's residential mortgage banker. Tallest man in mortgage. That was not fact-checked, as you now know. My call sign is Pogo Stick. One of my claims to fame here is I had the first call sign within the connectors. In the simplest form, I help people finance the purchase of a new home or do a refinance on their existing home. So this is my family. Like a lot of people, I mean, they really are my why. Obviously, I want to give my family the best life possible. If I don't start crying when I talk about my family, don't judge me. I still love them very much. Eddie, it's your fault. So this comes up a lot in my one-to-ones. My longtime girlfriend, Kristen. We are not married. Sometimes for simplicity, she'll be referenced as my wife, but there's not one in the other. So we've been together 6 years. We have Jaden, our little one, is 4. She's turning 5 this weekend, actually. And then Taylor is my 9-year-old from my ex-wife. So I saw this slide, and some of you have maybe seen this before, and I thought it was really funny. And one of the things that makes it funny is it's largely true. So you can see at the top, it just says loan officers, and it's got this picture, what my friends think. And I'm out there partying with a bunch of people, having tons of fun, not working. What my mom thinks. I'm in the boardroom, I'm making big calls, a bunch of guys in ties. What society thinks. That's not good. For those who can't see, it's a guy with a gun and a mask. What customers think I do. There I am counting all this money in my office. What I think I do is a guy on a horse trying to round up a bunch of cats in the wild. And then what I really do, much like Eddie, the new emoji, hand on the face emoji. And that really is a lot of what I spend my time doing. So why is the mortgage process so difficult, right? A lot of people ask me this. I think a lot of people have had bad experiences. And people just don't understand, right? It's like, why is this so difficult? There's a lot of reasons. We're an industry that's regulated by the federal government, right? And so a lot of times when you have rules laid down by the government, they just don't make a lot of sense all the time. But that is what it is, and it's very black and white kind of what the rules we have to operate within for their loans. But I think what a lot of people don't know is when they go to do a mortgage is kind of how many hands kind of touch a file, how many people it goes through. So you guys know me, I'm the loan officer, I'm kind of the face out there. Loan officer's job, bring in business, it's a half sales job, and then obviously when the deals come in, these people are buying a house, they're gonna get emotionally connected, they're spending money on appraisals and inspections, and so you don't wanna call them right before and say, hey, something's wrong, right? And that's the stories you hear. But I kind of am the point of contact, I bring the loans in, I talk to them up to that point. Once the loan comes in, I pass it off to my transaction coordinator / assistant. For whatever reason, she doesn't like the title transaction coordinator, but that's Jeannie. And anyone who's worked with me knows Jeannie. And so once the loan's in process, Jeannie kind of talks to the insurance, talks to the customers, helps get the paperwork together. I'm out trying to bring in new loans. I'm still in the process, but she's largely running things from there. She's gonna get the file ready to go to my processor, Alexa. And Alexa's gonna do a lot of the behind the scenes things. Are your taxes really your taxes? Do you own other things you're not telling us about? Is your Social Security really yours? So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes before we lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And so Lexa's kind of gonna bring that all together, and she is then gonna pass the file to our underwriter, right? So our process is we try to have our files go into underwriting and come out what we call clean, right? Just right to closing. So I underwrite the file up front, and if I tell you it's good, the idea is it's good, right? So I'm also look at it as an underwriter, and then Alexa does the same thing, then we pass it to our underwriter. So they have final say, right? They're gonna sign their name, they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna give you $400,000 or $500,000, I'm gonna sign my name to it. And if something comes up after the fact and their name's on it, that's how underwriters lose their jobs, right? So a lot of people will say, just tell your underwriter it makes sense, right? I'm telling you this is how it is. It's not how it works for them. So they now touch the file, we come out, they get an approval, goes to our closer. Our closer works with the title company to get the final amount, the numbers right. You know, another thing that people talk about is I thought I was bringing this, now it's this. We try to avoid that at all costs. Our closer will sync up the numbers that we've always talked about, get it to the title, you sign with the title company goes back to our funder, they fund the loan. So there's a lot of things we manage in the loan process kind of behind the scenes. How do I separate myself from the competition? I talk about this a lot. Like a lot of us, there's a bunch of people who do exactly what I do, right? So how do I do business? I do a lot of work up front. My big pet peeve is I never want to call people at the end and say, hey, remember I told you I was going to get you that house and it was going to finance and everything was going to be great. It's not great, right? It's a problem. You never want to make that call. That's a terrible call. It's not fair to the buyer. It's a misrepresentation of what we do. So I do a lot of work up front, kind of finding out, underwriting the file. Communication is big. That's one of my big things. I like everybody to know what's going on. And if I look at a file up front and there's something that may come up as a problem, I like to let everybody know, hey, this is what I see that could be an issue. So if it is an issue, it's not a surprise. I'm always available. In my industry, you guys have seen me traveling. I'm commissioned, I come and go, but I'm always working. If someone needs me at 10:30 at night, I jump on that call. If I'm on vacation, I'm working. The problem is when you're in commission sales, if you don't answer the phone, I mean, I believe that if I don't make myself available, they're going to go somewhere else. I don't want that. Listen, identify, empathize. There's a lot of ways to sell, quote unquote. A lot of people think of like fast talking and stuff. I really just try to listen to my customers, identify their concerns, their hot buttons, what their needs are, and try to go through a process with them that will really alleviate the concerns, answer their questions, and make it as smooth as possible. I'm all referrals, right? So we want it to go well. And then I try to get stuff done that others can't. I've talked about it in here. Sometimes there are what we call turn downs that other lenders can't do. They screw something up, people are frustrated. I love to get my hands on those deals and see if we can put them together. A few tidbits. Okay, so mortgages, it's not that exciting, let's be real, right? But here's some things that you may or may not know. So FHA loans, we'll do them down to a 500 credit score. It's tough if your credit score is below 580 to get them done, but we can do them. You need a 600 credit score for a VA loan and a 620 for a conventional. There are grant programs out right now. Those are really popular. They'll give you essentially money to help with the down payment. So if you're renting and you make good money and you have good credit, but maybe you haven't saved up a down payment, those are great. If you're a veteran, I know we've got a few in here, VA loans are fantastic. They're the best loans out there. You don't need any money down. There's no mortgage insurance. Those are fantastic clients for me. Short sale foreclosure, there are set wait periods for what we call conventional and FHA loans, but we also have loan types where there's no wait at all. So if you or someone you know has had short sale foreclosure, bankruptcy too, there's options for you. Rates are still relatively low. I know there's a lot of talk about rates going up, and they went up a little, but they're still in the low fours. In the grand scheme of things, that's low. Low down jumbo mortgages are back. You can do some jumbos, which in Maricopa is 424,000 above. Some you can do as low as 5%, 10% down is common now, and then there's special programs out there for doctors. So I mentioned this, I think, a little bit. I'm in a growth mode right now. I've been originating loans for 16 years now. Obviously, we try to write as many loans as we can. Last year, I finished in the top 2% in the nation for production for loan officers. And this year I decided to take on a new endeavor, which is opening a new mortgage branch. That became official actually yesterday. So that's a little bit of uncharted water for me, but it's an exciting opportunity. I will still and always be a producing loan officer. That's my bread and butter. I learned when the economy went south, you never want to stop originating, and I won't. We will be moving into a new office. It looks like it's going to be in North Scottsdale for now. That'll hopefully be at the end of the month. And the big thing with this move for me is going to be hiring. So I've talked about this, I think, in a few of my commercials, but if you know another loan officer, they're not always direct competition. A lot of times that can be a good introduction for me. And so right now, especially, if you know someone who's in the mortgage business, maybe they're not happy where they are, you think they might be a good personality fit with myself, maybe they want to make more money, whatever the case, that's a great connection for me right now. So these are my best connections. That's really all I got today. I appreciate the time.